Hi, my name's Andrew, and today we're going to Reka 3-bean chili. If you're not from the United States and chili's not a thing for you, you know, maybe you have a different type of chili. This is an American style chili.
Kevin's famous chili.
We're also going to make some cornbread a little bit later on. That's going to be fun.
Cornbread.
You dip it, mop it, swap it,
Pop it.
and gnaw it. It's going to be good. We have 3 different beans that go into this chili that make it a 3-bean chili, because 2 + 1 is 3. So we have black beans, kidney beans, and pinto beans. We also have corn and some emotionally damaged tomatoes, otherwise known as crushed tomatoes. We have chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, 1 small jalapeno. We're going to use some garlic cloves, probably 4, and we're going to chop up the whole red onion. I wanted to use red because there's a lot of chili and spices, and red onion generally has a little bit more sugary content to it. So it's going to help balance out a lot of the hot heat. And I have a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. To finish off, we have 3 pounds of 70/30 ground beef. So you can see it's a little lighter in color because it has a higher content of fat. And that's going to just roll through this whole slow cooking process. So let's get started. Taking my garlic crusher, I'm going to take just these 2 cloves and we're going to just let that begin to sear off in the pan. Oh man, you can already smell that epic smell of garlic cooking.
You smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
We're going to just start adding sections of our beef into the pan because I want that garlic to infuse into the beef. Now, because it has a 30-70, it's going to have a lot of fat liquids. We're not going to throw those away, they're going into the chili. That's going to add epic flavor. Now you'll notice I have here a masher. Once this cooks a little further, we're going to use a potato masher to actually get all of the beef to crumble into those perfect little meat bite balls. Okay, so we're just going to move this around, and what it does is it just causes all the beef to separate so it's not in big chunks, which is exactly what you want for a chili. So the beef is perfectly where we want it, and I'm just going to simply tip all of that into the pot, and we're going to take the rest of our beef, set it in there, break it up a little bit, move it around the pan, and we start the process again. Ooh, look at that bit that caught in the middle. I like it. Jalapeno. Jalapeno. Go in. Red onion. You want relatively decent chunks. You don't want to go too fine because it's going to break down a lot. This is going to cook in the crock pot for at least 8 hours, and if you're really smart, you'll leave it overnight to let all those flavors marry after it's done cooking for 8 hours.
I'm not a smart man.
Let's add these in now. Yeah. 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 40 ounces of black beans, 58 ounces of corn, 60 ounces of kidney beans, 40 ounces of pinto beans, 84 ounces of emotionally damaged tomatoes, and a 1/4 cup of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. So we want everything to start rolling through. If you're doubtful if everything is going to fit in your slow cooker, find a big cooking bowl and mix it all in there first, and then distribute it evenly or proportionally into your slow cooker.
I'm serious about this stuff.
We're going to stick the lid on. We're going to stay by until 8 hours is done with some stirring in the middle. Let's get it. We're about halfway in now to this epic process, and it's just time to take it out and stir it. There's actually a really good color balance of all the different beans and corn and the ground beef. There you go, that's all we need to do. Just give it a good stirring, and now we're gonna just send it back for its next 4 hours. We're now gonna make cornbread as the perfect southern condiment or companion to our chili.
It's pretty much impossible to make better cornbread than my mom.
We have a cup of cornmeal. We have a cup of unbleached flour. We have 1/2 cup of grated mozzarella. We have 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 small jalapeno, 1 medium-sized egg, 1 cup of corn, 1/3 cup of honey, 1 cup of room temperature buttermilk, and 1/2 cup of butter at room temperature. So the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to take our stick of butter, and we're going to set it in a Pyrex container or something you can microwave. I know this is very dirty, but I'm going to stick this in the microwave and melt the butter. And I'm going to use this as a mixing bowl. So that you're going to see that in a second. This is completely melted. I'm going to set this aside for a second. We still want it warm. we're gonna take our 12-inch cast iron skillet and we're gonna put it in the oven, which is preheating to 400 right now. You wanna have your skillet hot when you put all the cornbread mixture in there. So I'm gonna throw that in there now, and then we're gonna come back and start mixing up our ingredients. Taking this honey now, I'm gonna add it to the warm butter, and I'm just gonna begin to whisk that into the warm butter. So now I'm gonna add our buttermilk. And lastly, to the liquid ingredients, I'm gonna add this 1 egg. Now before we go any further, I want to cut this jalapeno because you'll see it's gonna come together very quickly, and you need the jalapeno ready to go because it's gonna be like a decorative garnishing while adding some nice zing to our cornbread. Just flush these in a little bowl of water. It's gonna get some of the seeds out. There's already gonna be a significant amount of heat coming out of the chili.
Whoa!
Now taking all our dry ingredients, our cornmeal, our regular flour, baking soda and baking powder, and our pinch of salt. That's now gonna get mixed in. We have our wet ingredients, our dry ingredients, and then our special ingredients that we're gonna be going in. I'm just slowly going to start to stir the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. With cornbread, you're gonna get a real grainy batter till you've got like a creamy consistency with kind of a grainy texture. And now that I have it like that, I'm gonna start folding in the corn. And we're gonna put half of our cheese in. You know what? I think we're gonna put a couple of jalapenos in there too, just for good measure. Let's mix our ingredients all into the batter. So we're pretty much almost ready now to assemble into the skillet. Taking a little bit of butter, I wanna make sure that sides release really well when we're finished cooking. Let's now take our batter and start piling it in. Because the skillet's already hot, you have to be mindful that it's already starting to cook. So we want to be really careful on that. So I'm going to take a little bit of cheese here. We're just going to make it have a nice little crust on top. Finishing off now with some decorative jalapenos around the perimeter, just creating something visual and nice to look at. This is going to go in the oven for a suntan. Yeah! 20 minutes is up in the oven, so let's get our little cornbread baby out and see what he looks like.
Cornbread.
What we have here is cornbread aristocracy. So we're gonna let this rest, and then we're gonna use that to eat with our chili. Let's get it. Now we come to the most exciting part of every video that we do here at Reka, where, in this case, the chili is returned to us from an 8-hour day spa. We're gonna take some of the hot juices and fats. I'm just gonna grab a whole bunch of that and bring it into this Pyrex container. Now, because it's very juicy, you want to kind of create, not a gravy, but you want to thicken all the juices up a little bit so that you have a little bit more of a sauce. Not a gravy, but a sauce. We're going to take a little bit of cornstarch. Look at this, we're even just using a regular packet. At the same time as whisking, we're going to start adding that in. I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons for now. And then you want to just start to reintroduce that back into the chili. You can see there that it's already changing from just watery to like more of a saucy kind of texture. Nothing like some hot chili for a warm, hearty meal. So you can see here we've added a little bit of cheese on just to give that nice cheesy vibe. So let's go in for a taste. Good feelings right there. That's worthy of a second bite. Now comes its companion in crime. Let's just break a little piece off and just get a piece of mopped up cornbread. Oh my goodness. This takes it to the next level.
You can keep living in the Matrix as long as you want to, son. This is the best cornbread.
You're sure to feel completely warm and satisfied on a cold winter's night this year. So why don't you go ahead and make this chili at home. Try something different. Maybe you're not used to this kind of food. Maybe you're from another country outside the United States. Make this and just experience. This is what people talk about when they talk about cornbread and chili. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed tasting this and making it for you. I hope that you're enjoying the content with Reka. Give us some feedback, give us a recommendation, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week for another amazing Reka adventure.